Today we'll be looking at Medieval Mastery. This is a board game that I bought at either IndieCon or Conception a few years ago from Chronicle City and have been meaning to play ever since. What we're doing here is a quick bit of getting all the pieces out and set up. It'll play 2 to 6 players and the board setup depends on the number of players. So for 2 it looks like this. Then deal out cards. You each get a set of order cards based on which colour you are, and that's what we're shuffling up there. We also each get a crown, a sceptre and an orb, which we'll look at in a bit more detail now. That's the crown. That one's called the Crown of Order. You can't really see the text there, but each crown, that one allows you once per turn to shuffle your discard pile back into your main deck and draw your cards again. Sceptres are used in combat, so that one reduces the opponent's attack a bit. And orbs are used after combat, and that one, if you lose, you get to keep one of the knights you'd otherwise lose. So that was the hand I had. Here's Helen's. That allowed her to play an extra card, or draw an extra card. Crown of Fury. She also has a sceptre here. This is the Sceptre of Rage, which gives her a bonus in combat. And her orb is one for when you've won in combat, you can get a bonus there as well. So, now to finish our setup, you start off with 6 knights each. The dice, you don't actually ever roll the dice. They're used to show your strength. So I'm playing as red, so I put 6 dice on my stronghold, and Helen's playing as yellow, not 6 dice, sorry, a die with 6 showing, and puts the same on her stronghold. We then shuffle up our orders hand and deal our first hand. This only replenishes in combat, so once you've got them, you're stuck with them until you run out or you go into a combat. Each of the tiles you've got there gives various bonuses as you capture them. It's me going through some of them with Helen. Some of them will give you extra knights, some are easier to attack, some are easier to defend. Depending. So I was quite lucky in this game. I had 2 mountains, making it harder to get through to those quieter lands near me. As you move in, either side of a stronghold, the land's worth 1 victory point, sort of north and south as we look at the board now. As you come in, they're worth 2 victory points, and the middle line is worth 3. In a 2-player game, it's the first person to 13 victory points who wins. So Helen's got, every turn you get 3 new knights, so Helen's added them to her castle. You then get to make a move where you can move knights into any unoccupied territory adjacent to a territory you already own. So Helen's moved into the grasslands there. You then check the symbols at the bottom to see if they give you any bonuses. And if they do, you apply those immediately. After you've done that, you can play any cards. Helen's playing one, I believe, or looking to play one, which lets her take a second move. So she's taking 2 territories in 1 turn. That's only because she's used that tactical advance card. Normally, you can only do that once. I was also pointing out the victory points and the bonuses for the cards to Helen there again. After you've done that, you can sort of reconsolidate your numbers. Now it's my turn. So I got my 3 added to my castle there. And I'm going to look at my first move. So there you go. We skipped forward a bit now. So I've got 2 territories, so it's Helen's. So that's the end of my first turn. I also played my tactical advance card. So each turn, so you get 3 new knights. Now Helen's used one of her crown's ability, and I can't remember what that does, but I think it gave her some extra drawing of cards, so she'd have more cards in her hand. That's where she's reconsolidated her forces. Now she gets to make her move again. So I'll sped the video up now as we go through a few turns, consolidating, moving and spreading out. Eventually you can't win without attacking the other person, so eventually we're going to meet in the middle and then the combat starts. That'll be in a couple of turns, but we'll get to that quite quickly. When the combat starts, you do compared strengths, you get to play cards to add bonuses, you get bonuses from the territory, and the person with the greatest strength wins. They take over the territory. The person who lost loses the difference in strength knights, so if my strength was 6, Helen's was 3, then she would lose 3 knights and the other 3 would get to retreat back to her stronghold. There you go, Helen's attacking me there. That's one of those territories which is allowed more than 6 knights, so Helen's able to hammer me quite heavily there. This is where the cards really come into play. We get to play a tactic face down, and they get turned over, and we get to continue to do that until we've both run out of tactics. Not sort of tactics. You get one tactic card, then you get bonuses. I added quite a lot there. Then Helen's scepter came into play, and mine. So we flip them over, and they get replenished at the beginning of each turn. Now, I saved an extra knight with my orb, and Helen got an extra one with her orb, and then she took over that territory. It was at this point of the game where we began to have a bit of problems. You'll see over the next couple of turns that it just sort of bounces backwards and forwards between us. Helen attacks me, takes one of my territories. I attack her and take one of her territories. What you notice there is I've cut one of hers off. You can use the the lake in the middle to attack any territory it's adjacent to. So here's my attack on those grasslands behind Helen. I think I won that one, so I've taken there. However, it then leaves me a bit isolated. But as I was saying, what we found was at this point, it began to become something of a seesaw. I'd attack, win. Helen would attack, win. And I think this is an issue with it being just the two of us. It's a really nice, fun game to play. However, as I say, with two of us, it just got stuck going backwards and forwards. I think more players, as long as you didn't pair off against each other, would break that a bit. Because if there was a third player, it'd be a slightly bigger board. But if I attacked Helen, but then her and the third player both attacked me, I'd lose 2 territories in a go. And I think it would begin to balance out a bit quicker. And you'd lose a lot more soldiers and be able to do less with it. Having said that though, very fun game. Definitely want to play it again. This time with more players. Anyway, that's it for now. I don't know what game we'll do next, but we'll have a look at how to play it and things like that. Until then, keep gaming.